Different. A story by me. My sister has been missing for quite a while now. The robots of the Northeast community claim they have been looking, but I'm really skeptical. I never see them go beyond the 12-foot chain link fence, although as much as they insist. This all began when my sister was taken in for examination. Sonia was always very masculine and had no interest in finding a male caricature when she got older, so the governor sent her in to be tested with the promise that she would be returned in a week. It's been a month. The governor claims that she had run away, leaving her family and community behind, but I'm not blind. She didn't run away. She couldn't have. She promised to keep me safe and protected, since we both have our concerns with this place. Nobody else is really different, and nobody else questions the way of this community. If they do, they conveniently run away or get tired of this place. We never see anyone voice their concerns without being removed. The same thing happens when they're born differently. People with disfigurements get cracked. I don't exactly know what cracked means, but the authorities say it's gentle and very humane. Maybe Sonia was cracked? There's no way. Only the disfigured and queers get cracked. Sonia was a good person. She would always sneak stuff for me from the prohibited box. It's where they keep all the things that keep us from becoming harsh or queer. Our father works in that department and occasionally takes Sonia there to get to know her future workplace. Before she was declared missing, she brought me a cocoa bar and a canine plushie. "It's a wolf," I remember her saying. Wolves are canines. They are gray, and they have sharp molars. They hang in families, like us, she said. Sonia knew a lot. Maybe that's why she got examined? Because they noticed she was taking objects from the prohibited box? Probably, but she would have been back by now. The punishment for taking objects from the prohibited box is very light and can be finished in a week. I miss her so much. She's the only person I trust. Maybe I should go looking for her. No, I would get caught. Well, maybe I can go tonight. It's not very active after 22, and I bet I can sneak by. It'll just be a quick peek, and I'll go back home. I grab my knapsack and throw in the other half of the cocoa bar that I refuse to eat. I add a small bottle of water and a jacket. I go to retrieve Coco, my canine, from under my bed. Sonia told me to hide him there so the authorities don't take him. I love him a lot. I'll stay up tonight and wait for after 22 o'clock. (22:14). It's time. I think if I go behind the house, it'll be less suspicious. It's more isolated and fenced off. Most of the robots are deactivated at this time, clearing the roads and making them look empty. I arrive at the tall chain link fence, still holding Coco. There's no way I'll be able to climb it. It's way too high and covered in some sort of black slippery grease. I don't know what's on the other side either. Anybody who has been caught peeking beyond the chain link fence gets privately cracked. Maybe this isn't a very good idea, but it's for Sonia. So I pull up the bottom of the fence and slide myself under the chain to the other side of the community. Although it looks more like a dystopian wasteland. I keep walking, hiding behind the giant piles of discarded metal and scrapped wood. There are giant piles of dirt and mud covering certain areas, like if they were covering huge holes or crevices in the earth. I sneak closer, still hustling between the giant piles of discarded waste and humongous hostile robots. There are more and more piles of mulch and soil, and the closer I get, the fresher and newer the different piles look. I get to a point where there is no longer mud on the trenches, but instead rotten piles of something. They don't fill the holes completely. The shape looks familiar. It seems to have something written on them, but it's too hard to distinguish. A robot of some sort just dumped a pile of mulch on one of the holes, burying the spoiled material. Some of the unburied trenches further down might have some information, so I speed walk quietly to the front of the wasteland. There, some sort of machinery is excavating the ground, making some brand new trenches to fill, is my guess. I approach the closest crater, grasping Coco in fear and uncertainty. I peer my head over the edge and stare in utter horror. The spoiled material I saw earlier was not waste, but dead people. They were all dead and had their necks at a particular angle which did not coordinate with the rest of their bodies. The writing on their faces looked much fresher and seemed to be drafted in the same black oil that was clinging from the community fence. I squinted and read the writing in a whisper. Ugly. Not only this, but all of them had something written on their faces, something offensive. Idiot. Bitch. Pig. Traitor. Skank. Prostitute. Bastard. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. I stumble to the trench right next to it and peer inside. Liar. Mental. Delicate. Freak. Anorexic. Schizophrenic. Waste. Slut. Depressed. Queer. Of the corpses, there was one that broke my heart, that shredded it into a million pieces, left to be blown away by the wind. There, under all of the bodies, was Sonia. She had a single word smeared on her face. Faggot. Was Sonia a lesbian? That would explain her masculine persona, and her disinterest with finding a husband or a male partner. She doesn't deserve this, though. Nobody does. This is cruel and should be illegal. Why is this even... The robot let the intruder's body fall nimbly in front of him. His programming strictly instructed him to crack anybody that goes beyond the 12-foot fence. The piece of machinery then rubbed his pointer finger across his black oily chest and wrote a single word on her face. Different. He then threw her body in the pit next to her sister's. There was something else on the ground that he didn't notice at first. Presumably an item the intruder dropped when she was cracked. A soft canine-shaped object, soft and plush-like. The robot just tossed it into the pit as well, not paying very much attention to it. The object then landed on the female intruder's chest, her neck now discoordinated and disfigured like the rest of the bodies. He returned to his position next to the fence, knowing that his duty of keeping the community clean had been fulfilled. For nobody will ever contaminate the pure and clean ways of their civilization. All hail the Northeast community.